All right, welcome to my video. This is a short video of rent versus buy. All right, we're gonna go over a couple of things here, and let me show you the value of why you should be a homeowner. All right, so this is a step-by-step blueprint to buy your first home, from bad credit to ready to buy. I'm gonna show you in a more advanced group how to go and buy investment hack from 1 to 4 properties. So this is just the basic and wealth creation, okay? All right, introduction. Your journey to homeownership starts here. Congratulations. You're taking exciting first steps towards building wealth and securing your future through homeownership. This guide will lead you through each step of the process, providing you with insight and confidence you need to make informed decisions and successfully navigate the path to owning your first property. Okay? All right. The first thing you really need to do is to know your numbers. You need clarity on your credit score. Obviously, the higher the better. I would suggest you get above 620 minimum to even start. Above 680, 720 above. That's where you're gonna get the better interest rates and stuff. All right. You need to know your monthly income. It's very important. You need to have it. Okay. And your debts. This is called debt to income ratio. You need to have some kind of saving. You need to have some money put away in the bank for your reserve, your closing costs, etc. Based on your situation, this is where your credit repair plan or your debt payoff strategy comes in. Know where you want to be. I help clients go from a low credit to ownership step by step. I've helped a lot of clients with bad, terrible credit strategically over time purchase their first property. Okay. Where does your credit score fall? Like I said, your goal is 680 or above to qualify for better loan options, 700 plus, strong buying power. Okay. So that's where it interest rates come into play and stuff like that. Below 620, it needs improvement before pool. You have subprime mortgages out there in the 550s and stuff, but those interest rates and those fees and stuff are gonna kill you. So you want to have a strong possible credit profile going into this process. All right. Okay. And that's when you get pre-approved. Okay. This is your buying power, so you could go shopping. 99% of realtors are not gonna waste our time. I'm a realtor. I'm not gonna if you're not pre-approved, we're not taking you to a show you on properties. It's a waste of time, waste of energy. You're gonna fall in love with a property, and you may not be able to qualify for that, depending on your credit and stuff like that. All right. So this step, you need to get pre-approved. Okay. You need to know how much you qualify for, your estimated monthly payment, your loan program options. We're gonna go into that in the next slide. But this is the one of the most important steps in your buying journey, because you need to know how much you could actually buy a home for. You don't want to go out and see a house of 500,000, but you only qualify for 400,000. It's going to break your heart. So that's a very important step. The loan options we have out there is 3 general loan options, 3 primary types. You're going to have your FHA loan, which is 3.5% down payment. All right. Then you're gonna have your VA loan for veterans like myself, 0% down. Self-explanatory. You're gonna have your conventional loan. Those is gonna give you some of the best rates and no PMI. All right. Okay. This is when you have your pre-approval letter now from your mortgage broker or your bank, whatever. This is when we go shop for property. We're gonna go out and we're gonna look for some properties, and we're going to find the right property that fits your need. Okay. In a more advanced setting, I'll teach you how to buy 1 to 4 units, live in one, rent out the other 3, and create wealth. All right. So this is just for single family buying your first home. Go out, shop, we find a property that you like, you're excited. Now we move on to the step 2. We're going to make an offer. Okay. We're going to find a property. We're going to put forward a purchase price. Gonna have in there the closing costs. Maybe it's a little repair if it's not a brand new home. I'll negotiate that. I'll negotiate the terms and all those things for you for your best interest, of course. All right. You're gonna have an inspection and appraisal. Inspection, you don't ever want to skip this. I don't care. What do you say? Don't ever skip this. This is very, very important step. The appraisal, the bank is lending you money, they're going to do an appraisal. All right. So these are 2 costs, maybe about $1,000 out of pocket. Home inspection, WDO and everything, check out your how the AC, the plumbing, electrical, all that stuff is working. It's going to cost you about 450, 495, 500, and the appraisal is about the same thing. All right, and the bank is not going to lend you their money without doing an appraisal, and this is something that you have to pay for. All right, so let's make that very clear. They have to know what the property appraised for, so they will lend their money on this. Okay. Okay. So this is not a step, but this is something that I have experienced in my 22 years in the real estate industry. I once had a client, we went out and we found a nice property. She loved it. And as soon as we went and put in an offer, the offer got accepted. Before closing, she went out and got all the furnitures, bought a new car, and she was denied for a loan because she took on new debt. Do not do anything. If anything, try to pay down these whatever debt you have prior to close. Don't do anything. Okay? Remember, don't take on no new debt, no nothing. You wait till you close and then you go out and you buy your furniture that you want. Okay? No new car, no new Louis, no none of that. No. All right. So congratulations. Now we're at the closing table. Okay? This is where you get the packet, you sign all your documents, you wire your down payment and your closing costs to the title company, and we do a final walkthrough. We're going to do a final walkthrough before we get to the closing table just to make sure everything is the way it is that we saw it when we put in an offer 3 days ago, 5 days ago. Inspection, it's a 7-day window, so you probably haven't seen this property for the last 25 or so days. So you just want to do a final walkthrough, make sure everything is the way that it was, that the owner didn't pull any tricks or anything crazy and change out anything on you. All right, and that's it. You purchase your new property, and in a more advanced class, you'll learn how to build wealth through real estate, increase monthly cash flow, reduce your tax burden, achieve financial freedom, because we all want financial freedom. You want to live for free. Okay, so you're ready to find your dream home, start your home buying journey today. Move from rental to purchase. Contact me. Like I said, I'm Brostrie Scayle P.A. I'm a U.S. Army veteran with Century 21 Tenants Realty.